disruption will do. I'm sitting out by a body of water, which is probably not advisable. I just ran to Costco and did all the responsible things as a hurricane gets ready to make landfall in the state that I'm in. The winds are incredible where I'm at. Will not get the worst of it by any means, so I'm fine. Don't worry about me. But I was channeling this energy, and the energy is that I'm angry. I'm angry for the collective, and I felt like it was apropos to be here in the middle of the storm. Not exactly Lieutenant Dan moment from Forrest Gump, if you know, because I'm not on the water, I'm not in the rain, I'm not on the sea, but I am transmuting the pain for a collective, for both you and for me. I am angry at what we have been through. I am angry at the gale force winds of other people's emotions that we have not only weathered but transmuted. I am angry that we are always expected to turn the other cheek. I am angry that for ourselves we do not speak up. We do not say the things that we need to say, and everyone thinks that they get to play in our face. As I was walking around Costco today, it wasn't exact mayhem like it could be. A lot of people probably got there before me, judging from the water shelves that were pretty much empty. So it wasn't the people, and it wasn't the energy, though public spaces are not my favorite. As an empath, I channel energy pretty intensely. But I think about the warpath that we have been on in this year, a lot of us taking our power back. I can't believe we're almost to the end of the year. A lot of us having to shove down our emotions, to pretend to care or to pretend not to care. You decide which side of that you are on. But either way you slice it, you have been done wrong. I wanted you to hear the wind tonight. I wanted you to hear as it whips, as it goes back and forth, as it scatters. There is not an animal in sight. There are palm fronds already down and trees down and more to come. And I didn't want there to be a glimmer of sun because I don't feel that in my soul. What I feel is this righteous indignation that's taken hold. I'm fucking pissed. How nice you have been, collective. How kind you have been, collective. How much you have extended yourself on a whim, collective, to family and friends, collective, to lovers, to foes, to people that feigned ignorance as they snuck to you to get close, but did not respect the spiritual work that you did do, and did not respect the pain that they took for granted that they would put you through. You were taken for granted. Tonight, whether you can hear me through the wind, whether you can hear me through my own pain and anger, I want to transmute some of what you have been through. You do not deserve the way that people did you. I don't care if it was a small infraction. I don't care if it was quick. I don't care if they swore to God they didn't mean it. People know what they're doing. People know what games they're playing. We're all adults here, are we not? Yes, we are. And that is not to be forgot when you are on the other side trying to get far, far away from whoever was playing in your face. There is a righteous anger that is going through my body, that has been coursing through me. And it's not been the entirety of today. It has been in this moment. And really, I should be taking shelter to be safe. My angels and ancestors say, stand in the storm and hold a place for the collective that feels worn and torn and tattered and battered and taken advantage of and misused and judged and overlooked and drained. Stand in the space, whether it's wind or rain, and let them know that someone saw the tears they shed, heard the cries they cried in the middle of the night by themselves. Someone knows how the other cheeks were never turned, but people instead slapped them repeatedly with disrespect, I'm angry on behalf of you. I'm angry on behalf of me. I'm angry on behalf of the alleged friends and family that couldn't see past the tricks of the enemy. All of us are not superheroes. We do not have superpowers. We are empaths, and that does set us apart to a certain degree. But everyone has the ability to tap into empathy, but they chose differently. They chose to look at you and villainize you. They chose to make you the person that was a boogeyman in their head, when really so many of you were just trying to help people do better than what they ever did. And they couldn't stand up to the jealous people around them. They couldn't stand up to their own insecurities personally. They couldn't stand up to their hating ass family members and friends. It was so hard for them to see, but how come we always see, empath? How come we always see? We always see what will be, what can be, and what could be. And then we have to play cosmic chess with dummies and stay 10 steps ahead of them, and they want to spin the block and say, but wait a minute, friend, but wait a minute, X, but wait a minute, fill in the blank. I just didn't see it right, but they knew when they were laughing at you, plotting on you, and treating you like shit. They saw it right. They just didn't want to be right. They didn't want to do right. They didn't want to act right. And so tonight, let your anger take flight. In the middle of the storm, I feel like it's apropos. In the middle of the storm, maybe here we can let it go or acknowledge that you don't want to let it go. Are we always mandated to be the bigger person? Are we always mandated to have to be the first to speak? Are we always the ones that have to excuse ourselves and release these toxic connections to people that don't wish us well? And they get to feed ignorance, but they sure as hell did not want to take the advice, the observational truths. They wanted to disrespect and disregard you, and I'm angry about it. You didn't deserve it, empath. You didn't deserve it, Earth Angel. You didn't deserve to be treated like that. You didn't manifest it. It wasn't the law of attraction. It was bullshit behavior and delayed reactions from people that were subservient to the devil. You didn't call it upon you. This wasn't past life karma catching up to you. It was people in this life creating toxic ass dharma with you. Because if I know you like I know me, collective, you showed up and you gave the best you could give. And you were as honest as you could be. And you were as kind as you could be. And you were as available and there as you could be. Giving beyond yourself, actually, when you were in deficit, most likely. Those connections never fed you. You were never nourished in them. You never had dreams come true with the people that you might have settled with and or chosen. You were just getting meager offerings, the breadcrumbing that they could afford, while in their own emotional life, they did hoard and hoard many loaves and many slices to be stored, to be given out to persons that were lesser. You know, in the Desperado, it says, there are no person that is lesser or greater than you, but empath, I beg to differ, because I've seen the truth working with the collective of you. You are greater than the sum of your parts. You are greater than your past cohorts. You are greater than that ex. You are greater than that friend. You are greater than that foe. You are greater than that co-worker. You are greater than that past, period. And that was the problem. You held yourself to a different standard morally. You came out into the storm. You stood by the sea, proverbially or actually, and you said, here I stand. This is me. I give the best that I can. I'm trying to be the best I can be. You never was set out to hurt anybody. You never wanted to is this dualistic nature of our dark and our light. I tell you all the time, know your shadow before your shadow gets to know you. And I want to say, I am so bloody proud of you because I know that you did not let your shadow peek through. People thought you were hard on them. They have no fucking idea how much you restrained and withheld so that you did not eviscerate and end those people that call themselves lovers and friends. They do not know the amount of power that you hold, that you decided you would allow the lesson to wash over them after the tea was cold. You didn't scald them with the piping hot tea. You didn't say the words that you really could have, because your words set people free. And even in your anger and your indignation, you too could set them free still. But you waited until you could take a chill, because you are the better person. For always there will be greater and lesser than you. But in the cases of what you've been through, you were the greater and they were the lesser. And that's on everything. You withheld your ego, because we all have it. And you withheld your shadow. And you withheld your word curses. And you withheld your rage. And you allowed the wisdom of your ancestors and angels to take over and turn the page. And you didn't sandblast them. And you didn't unleash these gale force winds. Instead, you kept that frustration and disappointment and anger in. And you said, you know what? I'm going to take this on the chin. And for that collective, I'm so proud of you. Because that is not easy to do. I have done what you've done. I have stood in the gap for myself in my anger and in my indignation again and again. Too many stories to tell. Too many disrespectful slights. Too many passive-aggressive, endless nights with people that took for granted my divinity, just like they took for granted your divinity. If I have to sit in the hurricane to transmute the energy, and that is a shamanistic call that's upon me tonight, then I'm standing in it. Because the anger can't always stay, but it has to go someplace. So I'm yelling it into the wind for all of us. For all of us who dared to trust, and who dared to be kind, and who dared to forgive, that had all of those opinions to cast upon you, that were disparagingly casting their opinions upon you, could never in 100 years do the work that you did do, that you incarnated into this life to do. They could never stand up for you the way you stood up for you. They let people attack you, people that didn't matter, people that they don't even like, people that don't like themselves. Can you hear me, guys? They allow so many other interferences to disshell sometimes some of your divine unions, the straight line path that you had. And even if it wasn't about a union, a life that you had established, people couldn't stand up to their own demons, but wanted to talk to you crazy, look at you and cast a judgment. And you had to be strong for both of you in those moments, whoever the both was. You had to demonstrate love above and beyond for two people that didn't even want to try. What I mean by that is you had no one empath by your side because you were abandoned. Maybe they threw you to the wolves proverbially, and they chose the lowest vibrations that they could repeatedly. See, I don't speak from a place of this is one wound or one injury. For me, this is many, many, many. So many that I think, how could this be fair, actually? And I yell it to the wind. Guys, you remember me here? Do you see me? And they say, we do. We do see you, daughter. We do see you, sister. We do see you, friend. See, the cosmos, the spirit team, my angels and ancestors have never forsaken me. It's been these humans in these skin suits that have loved to try me. And collective, I know you can relate. It's been so unfair and so unkind and so unrelenting, like this wind tonight, that I think, can this really be my fate? Is it really the collective's fate? And so yes, it's enough to be angry. It's enough to be miffed. It's enough to be pissed. It's enough to question, is this it? But I know better. Even in my disgust, I know that this is merely just a gust of wind, just a moment in time, something orchestrated, yes, by the divine, for you to know the lowest way that people can go, so you can know the highest way that you could ascend, and that you could shake off people that meant you no well to discover your real tribe and your real friends. That's how a storm changes you. That's how these winds rearrange you. You rebuild after a hurricane. That's what we do. As a Floridian, it's what you do. Hurricanes don't scare you. Sometimes they excite you. We have hurricane parties because we know whatever happens afterwards, we will see the best of humanity. People coming together and offering to help. If the power's out, we're grilling. It's a block party. If there's no water, if there's no air, if there's no ice, we gather together. We aid each other. We provide for one another. See, that's what you're on the other side of. My sisters, my brothers, you are on the other side of the eye of the storm, of the gale force winds, of the people that took you for granted again and again. And now you get to meet the best of humanity, people that will revere you as tribesmen and friends. But you had to go through something to get to that better place. And it means you had to look your anger, your disappointment, and your disgust in the face and say, yes, I see you, Shadow, but I will not let you fully consume me. You protected me, and I want to thank you for standing up for me when no one else would do that for me. You stood up for you, collective. Yes, you had a spirit team behind you, but it's kind of hard to go through life when you can't see who's helping. You can know that it's there, you can feel their energy, but you have actual people in front of you that are fucking hate for relief. We are shaking the dead branches from the trees. What you will be left with is a thriving specimen that is evergreen. No infraction has gone unseen, no slight has been unknown. Every evil thought they thought about you was a seed that they have sown into their future. So many people were on the end of karmic cycles when you were dispatched into their life, empath, and they chose to not do you right, empath, and so now the hurricane for them begins. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police to my right. A cop just pulled up because he's watching the storm like the rest of us. There's a group of us out here, and maybe he might tell us it's time to go, but the spiritual police are on the job, and that's something the universe wants you to know. And they're not here to come get you because you did not let your shadow peek through. That person that tried you is still walking this earth. You never even spoke harsh words. You held it in, and maybe like me, you screamed it into the wind. But your angels and your ancestors said, we heard you again and again, and we will not allow this to happen again and again. But for those people that tried you, their karma now begins. And I hope they know how to prepare for a hurricane, and I hope they know what supplies to get, and I hope they know how to survive. It gets bleak and dark, and the bugs are screaming at night. It takes practice to weather a storm, and fortunately for you in this collective that I get to work with, that I am so blessed to work for on behalf of, I know a thing or two about surviving Gale Force winds. I know a thing or two about rebuilding again and again. I know a thing or two about getting the right supplies just in time. I know a thing or two about how to survive when you feel like everyone around you has been living a lie. And now the rain comes. It's just been the wind. So now it's time for this life to end. As all good things do come to an end, and all bad things, empath, come to an end. All that pain that you've been in, maybe listen to this back again and scream it out into your mirror, into your bath, into your shower, into your outside area, wherever you have. Scream it with all of your power into nature and say, I want everything back that whoever took from me. Every tear I cried, every time I restrained my demons and kept them by my side, every time I put my shadow in the cage, I want you to avenge me. I will be repaid, and so it is. I love you guys. I love you, collective. Part of evolving is sometimes shedding that kind of perspective. It's about sharing it, and it's about knowing that it's okay to feel that kind of rage. We transmute. We don't hold space for that kind of energy. And I'm so honored. When I say I'm honored, I am honored to stand in the gap for both you and for me and whoever else was listening that needed to be healed of the anger you have for the way things weren't fair. They weren't. I'm never going to lie to you. But I'm going to tell you, onward and upward, beautiful souls, you have more spiritual work to do. And this next half is not you in the storm. That's for the people who tried you. Now, you get to have the best of humanity. It's something that you deserve, and it's something that's owed you. And I am here to hold your hand energetically to usher it in with you. And so it is. So good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time, guys. We'll continue to evolve together.